Hey friend! Today's guest is someone who truly embodies the spirit of a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Sarika is a former United Nations official who made the bold leap from international diplomacy into entrepreneurship, guided by her intuition and a deep love for Japanese sake. She is now known as the Japanese Sake Fairy Godmother, teaching the craft of sake to audiences worldwide, while also creating award-winning sake-infused skincare products and sharing the practice of face yoga. She brings so much joy and light to everything that she does, and I'm sure that you'll feel it shining through our conversation. Her story is such a powerful reminder of what's possible when you follow your curiosity, even if it doesn't fit neatly into one box. Please join me in welcoming Sarika. Hello, Sarika, and welcome to this podcast.
Annalyn, thank you for having me. I'm so happy and honored to be with you.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this conversation. You have
Oh,
such an amazing
same
background.
here. I was excited last night. Oh yeah, tomorrow is
Oh, so
Annalyn.
happy to hear. Maybe we could start from the very basics. Could you tell us something about you and your business?
Yeah, this is the most difficult question for me normally. But
Exactly.
yes, so I'm Sarika. I am Japanese, and I call myself the Japanese Sake Fairy Godmother because I love sake. Have you had sake?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay, so I actually transitioned from United Nations to entrepreneurship thanks to my love of sake. And that's what I do now. I teach sake, I drink sake, I even wear sake because I'm a founder of a sake infused cosmetics as well. Yeah, so what I would love to do is I'm on a mission to preserve the 2,000-year old craft of sake because it's unfortunately a declining art. So I'm trying to do it through all kinds of ways by sharing, how amazing it is through education, but also through my cosmetics, which is you don't have to drink sake to love sake because it is such a beautiful craft.
Oh, there's so much packed already into that. Uh, tell us the story like behind this because you had what many people would think like a dream career at the UN, and then you decided to leave. Can you take us
Yeah.
back to those days?
Oh, yeah. Well, I never ever thought I would leave because I really thought, well, you know, as a Japanese woman, and gender has always been something in that felt really passionate about. I think even since I was 4, I already had question marks about how girls and boys were different in Japan. I know Finland is probably one of the most advanced gender equal countries in the world, but Japan is still like in it's year 2025, but we're still in the Middle Ages. So, unfortunately, so it's always been in my mind that I wanted to, you know, make things equal. And so it was, and when I was graduating, I thought for sure the United Nations will be the best place to make the world a better place, right? That's their job. So I took the exam and I miraculously passed it. And yeah, I got in and I thought I had my dream job and I was super excited. And I never ever thought I would leave. I thought I would work for 40 years, become the Secretary General, and I had no doubt, and I never ever thought I would resign. But, life is so interesting.
Sure is.
Yeah, so yeah, about working for 10 years. I mean, in the beginning, I was so sure I had my dream job, and I was so young when I joined. In fact, I think I was probably the youngest person to get a permanent appointment,
Wow. Wow.
which is now there's no permanent appointment anymore, but at that time, yeah. So, but I realized when everyone was congratulating me, that's the first time I realized, wait, does that mean I'm going to be here forever? And all of a sudden, there was like something in my mind that, I thought I had the dream career and everything, but then I realized, does that mean like I can't do anything else anymore? So there was some sort of a seed in my mind, and as I had my first baby, and I was working in Nairobi and I gave birth in Bangkok, so it was quite a quite a chaotic.
International life.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was great. It's been fantastic. But one of the time, as my maternity leave was over, and of course I had to, when I was going back, that's when I realized, like, okay, so now I can't spend time with my baby anymore. And with our kind of Bangkok crazy traffic, I had to leave at 6 a.m. to beat the traffic. And once I went back to work, I kind of never saw my baby.
Right.
I mean, because, to avoid the traffic, I would come back once the traffic is finished. And it's like, she's already asleep. And so that was like the initial doubts. I mean, of course, now this is obviously way, way before COVID. So now there's these other opportunities to work remotely and these kind of things. But that did not exist. That kind of option didn't exist that time. So while I was working for gender equality in the region in Asia Pacific and beyond, I was thinking, wait, what about my personal?
Exactly, how ironic that you are
Yeah.
working on gender equality and then you are
Yeah,
kind
it's
of,
like, what about me? And my family, and I felt like I want to spend much more time with my baby. And I mean, I was at some point, I started bringing her to the office to breastfeed and everything, but it was still not easy. And there was a moment where I thought, you know what? Somehow, why don't I kind of stop this and see what happens? I didn't have anything lined up at that time. And of course, it was so crazy to leave a permanent appointment because I think at that time only about 5% of the people in the whole organization had that, security. But somehow, yeah, I thought, okay, I think I'm ready to explore new things somehow. And yeah, it wasn't such a drama, but of course, my bosses and everyone around me told me that, are you really sure?
yeah, you have the permanent position, which is so rare and nowadays doesn't even exist. And you had that, and then you just decided that, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going to leave.
no, I think it was kind of about time to have a better balance with the family because at that time things were a bit crazy. Uh, yeah, during my maternity leave, I was also in a civil war location and it was quite a crazy time. So I thought, okay, I think let me see what I can do and let me take a break. And I thought I could always go back if I wanted to. So yeah, I kind of just jumped, but it wasn't because I hated it or anything. It was more the pull and push factor. I guess the pull factor was stronger that there's so many things to explore. Like my Japanese sake. And somehow the pull was stronger than the push. And yeah, I thought, okay, let's just do it. And it wasn't really, I mean, it was a hard decision, of course, but it wasn't as hard as some people like my bosses were saying, you're so brave. But no, no, I'm not brave at all. It was just, it was intuition or, it's like following your gut feeling. There's nothing kind of that brave or dramatic about it. But yeah, that's just kind of, yeah, that's how it happened initially.
Oh, incredible. Did you already have sake in mind, or did you have a business idea when you decided to leave?
No, absolutely not. I didn't even know the word entrepreneur. I just
Oh, I
knew.
love this.
Yeah, no, seriously, I have no business background, of course. I've been, in the United Nations, which is like the most bureaucratic system in the world. So it's like almost opposite of entrepreneurship. Of course, it can be very creative and entrepreneurial in spirit, but in terms of the structure and, practice or, skills, I had absolutely no business skills because it's not like making money was the goal in the UN. It's, you know, hopefully it's about peace and justice. So it was a different kind of motivation and skills. So absolutely, I had no skills, and everything just happened kind of organically. I mean, even sake, I never thought to make a business out of sake, or I had no idea you can. It was just that I discovered, or rather rediscovered sake because actually I never liked sake before,
Oh, that's
which is
funny.
actually, in fact, I was avoiding it because my grandfather is from the sake production area of Japan, and he was drinking bad sake. Unfortunately, from those times after the war, it's like rice is such a precious commodity. So sake was always diluted with God knows what. Like, so 1/3 would be real sake, and 2/3 would be, all kinds of stuff. So that's the kind of sake that was going around during my grandfather's time. So, yeah, I thought, okay, I don't know why you're drinking this, Grandpa. So I avoided it until I rediscovered it just as I resigned from the UN, just by chance.
Wow. Synchronicities. Mm.
Yeah, in Fukushima, unfortunately, where now it's famous for the nuclear disaster, but before that, this was before that. Well, yes, no, now I'm confused of it. No. Well, nothing to do with the nuclear, but Fukushima is really a sake production area. It's like rice production area. So, yeah, and when we were traveling there with our family, I was offered a local sake. And I said, oh, no, sake is not really my favorite. Do you have like other things like beer or wine in this local B&B? And they're like, oh, no. With our local Fukushima food, you have to try this beautiful local sake. And yeah, they brought it in a little kind of cup. And just to be polite, I thought, okay, I will take a sip. But yeah, when I took a sip, it was, what is this? This is sake? It was completely different from my grandfather's sake. It
Mm.
was like, what is this? It was like angels singing and such a beautiful, beautiful sip of sake. It was really small, but I was so blown away. And of course, at that time, I just loved this amazingness and never thought of making it a business. But then I just gradually learned about sake because I wanted to, try different types and taste more. And that's when I learned that sake is in a serious decline right now. It's a 2,000-year-old craft and it's declining year by year. And at this point, we're, I guess, like 1/3 of what consumption used to be 50 years ago. So it's really in a serious state of decline. And I thought, that's unbelievable that this such a beautiful product and it's a tragedy. It's like a national tragedy.
Yeah,
Why?
cultural heritage. Yes.
Yeah, why
Mm.
is nobody talking about that?
Everybody has the memory of their grandfather's bad
Yeah.
sake.
Yeah, so that's like kind of originally, but I didn't start a business immediately. Of course, it was
Mm.
kind of organic, and yeah, after that I thought, well, maybe I can start drinking more sake to help the consumption. And then,
That's one way.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly, and offering it to my, friends and family to have more. And by the way, there's also non-alcoholic sake because it's just fermented rice. So it's like sauerkraut in a way.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
yeah.
So it's full of nutrition, and we have a non-alcoholic version as well called amasake, and that's like a nutrition bomb. Yeah, so I was like pushing sake to my friends and family. Then they started like calling me, "Oh, you're Miss Sake, like a sake god, fairy mother. You're always wanting us to drink sake." And I said, "Yeah, absolutely, because didn't you know that it's a declining craft? We can drink and save it." And somehow, little by little, people started asking me, like, "So tell me about sake. I'm so curious now." I mean, a lot of Japanese people, like myself included, and even my family, even though we grew up with sake, we don't know enough about it at all, in fact. And so I started learning little by little, going to the breweries, and I didn't even know there's a whole formal sake sommelier progression as well. So I'm such a geek. I did everything. And once I got to the highest level that I can actually teach and certify people, I thought, okay, let me try this, and let me do, like, I just did one or two for fun with a friend of mine who's a chef. Let's do a pairing, and let's do something. And this was just for fun. I never thought it's going to be a business, and how it just went incredibly well, and it was so fun. And I thought, wait, this is amazing. Everyone's happy. They want to pay, and it's so fun. And I get to drink sake. So, can I make this a business? And that's kind of how, yeah, I started during the pandemic. Well, actually, the pandemic came just when I registered my first business. So, yeah.
Which was kind of challenging, I can imagine.
Yeah, everything got canceled.
All the events and gatherings.
I managed to do one. Well, after this fun test one with my friend, yeah, I yes, my first one was with the Polish Vodka Museum.
Oh,
yeah, which was great. And then just after 1 month after that, I had so many great plans, and everything got canceled. And but what was amazing is that all of a sudden I had, because I started sharing on Instagram about like what I was drinking. And some of my old friends from my UN days contacted me saying, "Oh, you know what? Um, I'm running right now a Japan program, and now it's COVID, and everything can be online. So can you do this, your sake education workshop online?" And I was like, "Online? No, I can't. How can you drink? Do the tasting?
how can you drink sake online?
Yeah. I said, "No, I don't think so." And she was, "No. We've been doing it. We've been doing remote classrooms already for years. It's possible." And I said, "But okay, but in your topic, yes, maybe if it's science and technology, yes, but what about the drinking part? How do you do that?" But she convinced me that it's possible. So, yeah, that's how I got into the world of online education that I didn't ever know it existed. And yeah, so yeah, I managed to kind of through another sake friend of mine who was working in one of the sake like one of, I think it's the biggest sake shops in the US. So she managed to organize a tasting kit for me,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and that people can order from them. Not from me, because I had no business sense. So I was like, okay, order from them.
But it's perfect for you so that you don't have to worry about the shipping and
Yeah,
all those details of about the logistics.
oh yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how I got into this online education world where I met you, or the online business. Yeah, by complete chance, and to my surprise, it went so well. I didn't know you can do that, because I thought, somehow in my mind, I thought, no, can't have the same interaction and can't, taste and sip remotely, but it was all possible.
And what I love about this story is that exactly that you run into these things that you find out that, oh, this is so interesting, and actually I love this, and then it's kind of taking you forward, and you are following. Of course, if you would be like this, no, 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 I want to have a regular traditional business, there's you can't do business out of sake, but this is kind of showing you the way bit by bit.
Oh, yeah.
And the online space, of course, opens up the whole world as an
Absolutely.
audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was fantastic way. And yeah, and then I made my online course, and it's actually now sold by the Japanese Sake Educational Authority.
Wow.
And I'm filming a new one this week, I hope. Yeah. So no, it's been super interesting. And the funny thing is that it's like everything is organic, there was never any proper strategy. It was just, oh, I love sake. And then it's like, oh, it's got now the world it's hard lockdown. You can't do anything in person, so we have to do it online. And that's how I discovered the online business. And it's all kind of organically happened, but in a fabulous way. Yeah. Of course, it
But
wasn't that easy, but
but yeah, of course there are always these details that happen in between. But anyway, but sake is not the only business you have. You already mentioned the beauty products.
yeah, again, that's kind of by chance. So it's a sake infused cosmetics. Oh, I wish I should have put here one to show you, but yeah. So well, this one again, it was never my idea to commercialize such a thing, because cosmetics is like, again, the last thing I know about, really. It's just that when I was living in Vietnam at that time, you know, beauty products or creams in Vietnam, or not just Vietnam, in Asia, there's really no regulation. So there's all kinds of things like bleach and all kinds of things in a cream. So I would just use coconut milk, coconut oil. I mean, I'm better off with coconut oil, I thought. So kind of I've been experimenting with my own DIY cosmetics for my family and myself, never to sell. And you know, and that's back in 2014 or so. I was experimenting, and this is just a fun thing. So I put sake in because grandma always said sake is good for your skin. And so I was putting lavender oil, all kinds of also disaster ones. But just by chance, 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago, I was talking to it was female entrepreneurs meetup. And just by chance, I was talking to somebody who just launched a food product from her kitchen. And she was so inspiring. She's like half my age, and she's so inspiring. And I told her, you know what? That's so funny, because I make cosmetics in my kitchen. I was just kind of joking. Oh, I could try to be like you and launch. And she's so successful now, by the way. She's like the person who inspired me. But I was joking, but she was so serious. She's like, yeah, absolutely. You can commercialize that. And I was really? But of course, and she was doing a food product, and this is cosmetics, which is a whole different game. As you probably know, within the EU, you can't just sell cosmetics. You have to go through so many hurdles. But, you know, I had no idea what to do even. So I was asking around people, anyone have cosmetics? Or like, no one is really in beauty around me, so they're like, no, I don't know. You can Google. And yeah, so I was googling, and so I found eventually, like, do it, learning by doing. So I found out you have to get it assessed, and you have to register officially, and then you can finally sell your first product. But I thought, wait, my sake thing is so good. And this is another, like a brand new way that I can share the beauty of sake without, you know, treating sake not just as a drink, because people think, a lot of people around me, because I'm a yogi also, and a lot of people around me don't drink at all. And I wanted to somehow share sake like beyond an alcoholic drink. And I thought, wait, this is the beauty, a great way to share the beauty of sake. You don't have to drink it. You put it on your face, you can wear it, and it actually works well because all of the, all kinds of amino acid peptides, all these things have brightening effects. And yeah, so I thought, okay, I really, really want to do this. So I was like, for like 4 months, Googling every day and like trying to join Facebook groups about cosmetic and all kinds of things. And yeah, at the end, I managed to soft launch my product. And the amazing, or the fun thing was that, again, I was putting all this information out to the world. And I can't really remember how it happened, but I saw that there's the European Natural Beauty Awards, where the mission was so similar to mine, that they only, because there's so much greenwashing in the world,
Yeah.
it says natural, and then you turn around and it's like, what's natural about this? And so the European Natural Beauty Awards I saw, it's like, okay, it has to be 98% or 99% minimum natural product. And I thought, this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the quality needs to be that high.
Yeah. And I just liked them. So we had like Zoom calls, and they said, oh, there's an award. If you want, you can submit it, your product. And I was like, okay. But then I heard there's hundreds of submissions, but I thought, okay, I'll submit it anyway because it's great.
You never know. You never
Yeah.
know.
Luckily, last year, my Sake Beauty Balm got the 2024 award, and it was the influencer's choice of the year. So yeah, I almost fell off my chair.
That is so amazing. So amazing. I mean, that's just the story of you just doing your own cosmetics in your own kitchen, and then 10 years later, and as actually when it's approved in Europe, because the standards are so high, it's probably
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's safe everywhere.
yeah, it's safe everywhere.
Yeah, and my new product is shortlisted for this year's award. So it's going to happen in Paris later this month. So I'm going
Wow.
let's hope for the best.
So you keep developing new products as
Oh,
well.
no, I only have two products. That's it.
But anyway, you have two.
Simple is best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's and then besides sake and the beauty products, you also have the yoga thing going on.
Face yoga,
Face
actually. Yeah.
yoga.
Face yoga is so fun. And again, there's absolutely no strategy or anything. It's just something I discovered and I love so much, because again, I discovered it by accident. I thought it was, a joke, but somehow it made complete sense. If we all know the benefits of exercising our body muscles, so why not our face muscles too, right? So yeah, so I so yeah, originally when I heard about it, people were laughing around me, and I thought, wait, it makes total sense. I have to track down this teacher, and she's Japanese. So when I went back to Japan, I found her, and and the only thing she was offering at that time was the teacher training. I just needed like a 1 hour, workshop, but that's the only thing available, like a 10-day training. And I just went on the 10-day training. And my husband was, are you crazy? What? Face yoga? What? Is that even legitimate? But it turns out that it works really well. and it's so simple and it makes complete complete sense. So I love doing it, and yeah, I combine it with Sake Beauty Balm
Yeah, I
because
can imagine that complementing each other. Yes.
yeah. But it is chaotic, I know, to have so many
Yeah,
things.
that's my question. How do you manage all
Oh
these
no, I
different
don't manage
branches?
it. I don't manage it is the answer. I don't manage it so well. In fact, no, it's been my real struggle for the last couple of years. Uh, it's yeah, I feel like at some point it's like, wait, am I running three businesses or but no, it's been really, especially before my product, the Sake Beauty Balm, is now luckily a bridge between the two. Because
Mm.
initially I had sake, and my face yoga was like a secret offering that I wasn't talking about it, but only like people around me knows, because I often just do face yoga by when I'm not thinking. I'm doing face yoga poses. And people were just like sake. They were asking me, show us this face yoga. And I said, okay, we'll do a workshop, like a fun workshop. It wasn't, again, I wasn't intending to make it a business either. And as people did this workshop and I gave them homework, and they did the homework for 2 weeks, and their friends started asking them, not me, what did you do? Did you go to Bangkok and get surgery or something? Or because at that time I was in Vietnam. And people were asking them, and they were saying, oh no, it's face yoga. This, Sarika does this crazy face yoga. If you want, you can talk to her. And that's how people started coming to me, asking me to show face yoga. And that kind of became bigger and bigger than sake. So I incorporated it as my second parallel business. And that's when all my struggles and crazy chaos began. So yeah, for about 2 years, I was really struggling how, I mean, because didn't see any role model, or if it's yoga and pilates, it's maybe easier to combine, more logical. But I didn't know how I can combine sake and face yoga. Well, I did in a way. Like people asked me, oh, can you come to my birthday and do a sake workshop and also do face yoga workshop at
Mm.
the same time? So that was like a way. And my earlier online course was face yoga for sake drinkers. But it wasn't like a best hit or anything. As you can imagine. So no, it was really a struggle. How do I combine? Or I mean, I didn't want to drop either, because I felt like they're my babies, and can't drop the babies. And then finally, when the my beauty product came in, somehow that was like the first logical bridge that made bringing the two together, that made sense. But I'm still struggling. I have not found an answer, because what I want to do now is really simplify my life and my business. And I'm struggling because being a Japanese person, it's like I'm such a workaholic. I don't want to be.
Mm.
I don't want to. I want to now. I'm transitioning like the last couple of years to be much more mindful, kind of really having boundaries of my work and personal time. So it's been a struggle. And that's why, yeah, right now my kind of challenge is how to simplify my business and in a way that makes sense. So I still want to do, I still love and want to share about sake. That will always be. But I think face yoga is more like a supporting role to that. Because what I want to do is really showcase sake as something that you can do as a wellness ritual. I mean, you don't have to drink it, but you can actually put it on your face and and combine it with face yoga. So that's kind of the direction. Whoops, did I? Okay, after all my struggles of, and yeah, this having multiple things has been difficult for sure.
Mm.
And
Yeah, thank you for being so open about it, because I can imagine that if you ask any like traditional business consultant, they would say that you should niche down, just focus on one thing.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. That's the normal traditional advice. And that's why it's been so hard because I was just not able to just, say bye to sake. It's like my lifelong mission. So I can't just say bye to that. And why say bye to face yoga when I also love it and believe in it and and then other people have told me that yeah, you really should niche down because your authority is if you're making crazy faces on the side while you're teaching sake, which is more different, like your authority might be in danger and there's all kinds of advice, but it's like okay, I've ignored all that.
Good for you. Good for you.
But
Because
it
of
has
course
been a
the common denominator is you, that you are bringing. And I love that you found this beauty product to be the
Mm,
bridge between.
mm.
And perhaps there is because I sense that there is like a new simplified structure on its way where you can actually combine all of these and yet have a more simple life.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And in fact, this is the first time ever that I actually took 2 months off. And today is my first day back. That's
Oh,
why,
yay!
yeah, so that's why I was so excited to talk to
Oh,
you.
that's why I'm even
Also,
more privileged to talk to you after your break.
yeah, yum, yum.
I've talked about identity and identity shifts that is connected to these freedom pivots or
Mm,
leaps from corporate world or the big organizations. And I can imagine that when you left your kind of established
mm.
identity as a UN officer, I can imagine that that was not a small thing. But how did you experience that shift
Oh yeah,
from
it was.
UN to be an entrepreneur?
That's so interesting you mentioned that. That was such a shock. I never expected it because, when you have a UN passport and when you arrive at the airport, everything and by your counterparts, you're always treated uh, with respect and equality, of course. But all of a sudden, I'm like no one. It's like I'm Sarika from Sarika Group. It's like, what is that? Sarika Group was my first business that I registered, but it's like, huh?
I love that.
So,
Sarika Group, it's like this huge,
yeah,
huge.
it was me only at that time.
Yes, yes.
But it's like nobody, it's not like, having a UN passport doesn't open any doors. It's like, who is it? Because I first called the Polish Vodka Museum. Like, hi, I'm Sarika from Sarika Group. Like, yes. And because I wanted to, at the time I was in Warsaw, so I wanted to, when I saw the Polish Vodka Museum, I thought, oh, it's just like Japanese sake, what they're overcoming in terms of like not stereotyping, but the image issue. And I just felt like the Polish vodka and Japanese sake have so much in common. So I thought this is going to be my first collaborator, and I contacted them. It's like no response. It was like, who is Sarika from Sarika Group? And I thought, I bet if it was my old career, response would have been immediate.
Of course.
So no,
UN
it's
is calling.
yeah, it's like a much more enthusiastic response. But so yeah, it was a shock. Like yeah, exactly like you say, you're kind of starting from zero and from Sarika Group, who is that question mark kind of thing. So
How did you navigate that?
well, I managed to well, like just the first interaction like that was that's what I remember. And but somehow, I managed to convince them to meet me. And yeah, and of course I never had a meeting on my own, like as in Sarika, the Sarika group. Before, UN meetings are always with a delegation of loads of people. And well, no, sometimes it's small too, of course, but like the serious ones are larger. So it's like, oh, it's only me.
I can decide. I get to
Okay.
decide.
Yeah.
I call the
And
shots. Mm.
exactly. But that was the scariest thing ever because I was so used to getting, approvals first. You have to have for anything at that time. Now, hopefully, things have changed a little bit, but at the time, you had to have like at least three signatures, like your boss signature, your boss's bosses, and your boss's boss's boss had to agree if you're going on a trip or wherever. It's like three signatures. But well, but it's like, what? There's no signature. I just sign with my little SS. And it's like, yeah, it was scary because you have to decide. It's like, okay, we were talking, and fortunately, they were really great, enthusiastic people. I found out after some vodka, but but yeah, it's like, okay, we decided, and oh, okay, that's it. I don't have to pass it on or make a meeting report. Well, of course, I had my notes because I've been brainwashed for 10 years to have all the things noted. So even to this day, I have notes. But yeah, it was really liberating and scary at the same time. I mean, liberating in a way that, wow, I don't need approval, but scary that now I'm responsible
Yeah,
for
there's no one to ask.
yeah, I can't consult people. Okay, my husband, I can consult. What do you think? But it's not like he has anything to do with sake or vodka, so he wouldn't know. So yeah, but that's an interesting question.
Yeah, yeah, and I can. I'm so certain that all the people who don't start as an entrepreneur but make the leap go through this shift, and then it's very uncomfortable in the beginning, but then you get used to it. And I think that the freedom that you are able to, you don't need anyone's approval, and that is actually very, very rewarding.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I'm sure that there are many people listening now who are in jobs that look great on paper, but they may have some struggles, whether it's balancing their family time or some other reasons to think about leaving. What would you say to someone like that who
Well,
is in that place?
mhm. I guess if they're even thinking about it, that means they're destined to do it. I mean, if you didn't even think about it, I mean, the fact that you're thinking about it probably means that you should do it. If you're even, have that thought. Yeah. And I think it's totally possible. And absolutely, I think it's a sign if you're even thinking about it, because normally you start there and it's like, oh yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah, true. You wouldn't even think about it if you would be completely happy and didn't want any change in your current reality.
Exactly. Exactly. I think you were meant to be if you're, yeah, even thinking about it.
Mm, yeah. It's so, yeah, it's scary, but at the same time it's manageable. And I think that you are such a wonderful, inspiring example of how you can trust the path in a way, that the
Oh,
right
thank
things
you.
come along when you just like, oh, I'm curious about that, and oh, hey, there's a workshop there, and then just kind of collecting the steps along the way.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it wasn't super easy, of course. It was like ups and downs and panic, and but at the end, I think uh, not. I think I'm absolutely have no doubt that I'm so so happy that I did this because yeah, I think it was meant to be.
Yeah, and you have said many times during this during our talk that you didn't have any strategy, but at the same time, I feel like that maybe enabled all these like surprise things like, oh, there is a beauty product competition and oh, I won. So it's like if you have the very strict strategy, it can like also limit you and limit the choices if you're not open to anything that can open up.
True, true, true. No, absolutely. Of course, I think probably I need some strategy too, but which
For
I'm
sure.
very weak at.
But
Yeah,
to
but
combine it with your open-mindedness and the curiosity, I think that's a wonderful way of doing
Oh,
business. Mm.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead. You were going to say
Oh
something.
no, I'm curious about you, Hanale. I'm gonna listen to your podcast
Yes, yes,
to see
yeah,
what's happening in the Hanale world.
exactly, exactly. But hey, before we end this, I want to hear what are you currently working on, and especially where can people find more information about your business, and if they want to attend your sake thing or face yoga thing or whatever, where
Yeah,
they can find you.
thank you. Well, first of all, World Sake Day is coming. So I'm working on that. World Sake Day is October 1, which is the official
Oh,
start of the sake brewing season because sake is brewed during the winter to have a controlled fermentation. So yeah, it's exactly countdown kind of to 1 month. So I have like sake events happening in Dublin and Madrid. And I'm launching or relaunching my sake course in English. So that's happening. Yeah, and where I am is thesarika.com.
mm.
And Instagram is sarika.sake.
Yes, I will put the links to the show notes so that people can find you and message you about the sake. I think it's so fascinating that you are like preserving this cultural and historical thing. It's very valuable.
Oh, thank you. No, it's a joy because I get to sip sake too while doing that.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh,
Oh.
thank you. Thank you so much for joining today and making time for this discussion. It's been so wonderful and so inspiring.
Anala, thank you. Really, no, I'm so excited to talk to you because I really wanted to catch up with you and so, so thankful you thought of me. Thank you.